Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Azadorian and I am the founder of an organization called Bewilling. And in this introductory video, I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I started Bewilling and what these series of videos is designed to do. So why Bewilling? Well, one of the things that I started to notice over my 30-year career in both working in corporations, teaching at a university, working with startup entrepreneurs and consulting with businesses was that the most impactful people in the world, the most impactful people in their businesses or in their communities, these people had two things in common. And I want to share those two things with you so that you can understand why this is part of Bewilling. So first, what they didn't have, all right? The most impactful people, they weren't necessarily the smartest people. They didn't have the best education. There was no correlation between them and they went to Harvard or Yale or Stanford. Those are great schools. I'm not saying they're not, but it wasn't an issue of where they went to school. It wasn't about how much money they had. You know, it wasn't even about how great their idea was. As odd as that sounds, that's not what made people impactful. It wasn't about what they look like. Lots of times, better looking people attract more business and they attract more interest from other people. I mean, we can understand why, but that's not part of it either. The most impactful people had two things in common. First, they were laser focused on their purpose. In other words, they were focused on why God put them on this planet. You know, so often today, and particularly when I'm working with college students, there's this thing called FOMO, right? This is the fear of missing out. And so we all try to do a number of different things because we're afraid that if we say no to this or no to that, we're going to miss out on something important. Successful, impactful people, they said no to almost everything that was outside of their purpose, right? So they're laser focused. And number two, and here you can see the connection to the name of the organization. They were willing to look foolish, to fail, to lose money, to blow a lot of time, not knowing if something would work out. They were willing to take the risks that were necessary to do the thing they were called to do. So they are purpose-driven, in my case, faith-driven people, right? So Bewilling was all about how can I, in some small way, help other people who are focus-driven, purpose-driven, faith-driven. How can I help them reach their God-given potential? And that was the origin of this. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about the danger in what our culture today tells us about, you know, what makes a good career, what makes a good life, because it was something that I fell victim to. I believed, what I'm about to tell you is I believed this lie for 30 years. And here's how the story goes. This is going to sound super familiar to you. The best life is one where you go out and you get the best education you can. Maybe that's a bachelor's degree, maybe it's a master's degree, it doesn't matter. You get the best education you can. You then take that education and all of the things you've learned and all of your confidence, and you go and you sell yourself to a company, and you basically land an amazing job, right? And over the course of maybe a year, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years, doesn't matter, you progressively climb that corporate ladder, and you get more and more and more responsibility, you get more power, you get more control, you get more status, you get more influence. People start to respect you because of what you do. You're a vice president, you're a president, I don't know, whatever it is. And you also get more money. And with more money becomes financial freedom. You can save for retirement, you can buy a house, you can travel, you can buy toys, you know, cars and boats and anything you want. You can give to charity as well. Right? And so what culture says, what the world says is that's a good life. That's the best life. Now, I believe that lie. I went through that process, and I can tell you, and I'm not alone, it does not work. And here's why. Okay, before you think I'm naive, and I'm not saying, by the way, that a good education is not important. I'm not saying that a responsible job isn't important. I'm not saying being out of debt is not. Those things are important. But here's what they're not. They're not source of your happiness. Okay? And that's a big difference. At some point in your life, this is going to happen to everybody. You're going to either lose a loved one, you're going to have a health crisis, there might be a breakup of a long-term relationship, there might be a death of a dream, there might be a number of different things that you didn't expect that come in and radically change your world. And when you're at that point, and we all get there, and some of us get there multiple times, when you're at that point, all of the things you've accumulated, your title, your pay, your bank account, your toys, they're not going to solve that problem. They're not going to matter. You can't pray to your Porsche. You can't go to your bank account and ask it to console you. None of that stuff works. Do they make your life more comfortable? Of course, 100%. Do they make your life meaningful? No. And that's a lie that our culture tells us. And so many of us fall victim to that. So I created Be Willing because I have a passion for helping people not shun education or financial freedom. No, I wanted to help people say, hey, this is the calling. This is what God has put on my heart to do. How can I get there? That's the idea behind these videos, is to give you a different perspective on how you can get there. So here's why I think Be Willing is a little bit different than maybe some of the other resources you can get on social media or on YouTube. And I'm not trying to do what everyone else is doing. And this is my heart for this. And it's this, that as people, we are radically influenced by two things. Yes, what we do as a career, but that choice and how we work and how we spend our money and how we spend our time are radically influenced by our faith. And I'll come back to that, and by culture. Okay, so we already talked a little bit about culture. What does culture do? What does it tell you is right? What does it tell you is the thing you should aspire to? And what do you have faith in? And before you say, well, Scott, I'm not a faith-based person, or I am, but my faith has nothing to do with my work. In fact, faith and work are separate. And here's what I'll tell you. There's not a person watching this video, there's not a person alive that is not faith-driven. And faith is not solely the realm of religion. I mean, yes, you can have faith in God. I have faith in God. You'll see through these videos that as a Christian, I have a Christian worldview. But you can have faith in your money. You can have faith in your position. You can have faith in your status. You can have faith in your looks. You can have faith in a lot of things. And we all have faith in something. There is a reason why we take action, because we believe something so deeply that we act on it. And that's what faith is. So I hope that you will, as we walk through these videos, you will start to think about, what do you have faith in? What are you called to do? What is the world telling you should be doing? And ultimately, how do you find your purpose? How do you find that which you've been put on this planet to do? Because I don't care how long you live, it isn't a long time. Time is short. Right? And so that's where we're going with this. I hope you join me on this journey. If you have comments or topics or things you agree with or disagree with, please take the opportunity to post those. I will respond to them. I will incorporate them. And I thank you for your time.